The Shadow in the Closet. When I was 8 years old, we moved into an old house on the outskirts of town. It was a 2-story mansion with high ceilings, creaky floors, and a large wooden closet in my room. From the very first day, it scared me. The doors were always slightly open, as if someone was peeking out from inside. Mom said it was just an old wardrobe, and Dad joked that a black ghost lived there. But at night, I could hear something softly scratching inside. One night, as I was falling asleep, the door creaked open, and a hand emerged from the darkness, long, pale, with thin fingers. I screamed, but when my mom ran into the room, there was nothing there. After that, I started leaving the light on, but every night, the closet door would still open. One time, I gathered my courage and walked closer. Inside, there was only emptiness. But just as I reached out to close the door, I heard a whisper behind me. "Don't close it. Now you live here too." From that moment on, I never slept in that room again. My parents thought it was just childish fears, but when we finally moved out, the neighbors told us a chilling story. Decades ago, a boy had gone missing in that house. His body was never found, but the last thing his mother heard was a whisper from the closet. The invisible friend? When I was 7 years old, my family moved into a new house. It was cozy, but something about it felt strange. Almost immediately, I started noticing odd things. My toys would change places, doors would creak open slightly on their own, and at night, as I was falling asleep, I had the eerie feeling that someone was sitting in the corner of my room. One day, I told my mom that I had made a new friend, a boy named Sasha. He lived in my closet and only came out at night. I told her how he played with me, how he hid my things, and how he always wanted me to keep the closet doors open. My mom thought it was just my imagination, but then I asked her, "Mom, why does Sasha say this house used to be his?" Her face went pale. She carefully asked me what he looked like. I described him, thin, dressed in old clothes, with dark eyes. She didn't say anything, but that evening, I overheard her talking to my dad. It turned out that many years ago, a boy named Sasha had indeed lived here. He had disappeared under mysterious circumstances. His body was never found. That night, I woke up to a whisper. The closet door was open, and from inside, I heard a quiet, almost pleading voice. "Let me out, please." From that moment on, I never left the closet doors open again. Don't look back. When I was 9 years old, my family often visited my grandmother in her village. Her house stood right next to the forest, and while it felt cozy during the day, at night, the place became eerie. One evening, after everyone had gone to bed, I woke up to a strange sound. It was a rustling noise and soft laughter coming from outside my window. Nervously, I peeked outside and saw a small figure standing among the trees. It was completely still, unnaturally still. I quickly hid under my blanket and tried to fall back asleep. But then I heard a soft tapping on the window. At first, it was gentle, then it grew more persistent. I shut my eyes tight and held my breath. After a few seconds, the sound stopped. But then, I felt breathing behind me. "Can you see me?" A whisper tickled my ear. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't move. Slowly, very slowly, I turned my head and saw a face right next to mine. Pale skin, hollow black eyes, and a wide, unnerving grin. I don't remember what happened next. In the morning, they found me curled up in the corner of the room. The window was open, and on the floor, there were wet footprints, barefoot and small. Since that night, I never looked back in the dark.